Audible. How do the French say bye? Audible. See, this is why I prefer German. Auf Wiedersehen. That's easier. Audible. Champs-Élysées. Champs-Élysées. Um, yes, that's it. Welcome back to another episode of Paul Rants. Yeah, today I'm alone again. It doesn't matter. The show still goes on, even though no one cares, but we move on. We always move on. Some people move on, but not us, but we have to.
You know, I keep telling everybody they should move on, and some do, but not us.
Anyways, today's vinyl is about a classic album that initially I heard only a few songs, but I always like most of the vinyls I have out of recent eras, so I wanted to have a classic album in my collection. So today's episode is about Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. Well, this is their 11th studio album. This album came out in 1976, and 11th studio album within 8 years or 9 years or 10 years. The band started in 1968 and this album came out in 1976. So in 11th studio album in almost 8 years. That's a lot of albums. This album had a stronger pop focus than the previous albums made by the group. The band at this time consisted of keyboardist and vocalist Christine McVie, bass guitarist John McVie, drummer Mick Fleetwood, singer and guitarist Lindsey Buckingham, and vocalist/singer Stevie Nicks. Honestly, I got to know of Fleetwood Mac because of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and in which the movie featured its song The Chain. Instantly I was hooked. I mean, you gotta admit something. Guardians of the Galaxy, the whole series, have one of the best soundtracks ever. Shout out to James Gunn for having such amazing taste in music. As a 16-year-old who just got to know about Fleetwood Mac, The Chain was instantly one of the best songs I've ever heard. So credit where credit is due. That's how I got to know of The Chain. Like only one song, The Chain. A few months or years later, I got to know of Go Your Own Way, and then I got to know of Dreams. I gotta admit something though. Even though I have this vinyl for over a year, but I only listened to its entirety last night to prepare for this review. And while doing my research about this album, everyone was like, "Oh, this is one of the best albums of all time." It's praised worldwide. It's been a big hit. And apart from hearing those three songs such as Dreams, Go Your Own Way, and The Chain, I was 100% sure that it wouldn't be that great, or it's a product of its time. But wow, indeed, it really is a really good album. This album has a lot of great tracks and has one of the best instrumentation ever. So let's get to it. Again, this is not a gatefold, it's just one's pocket, as you guys can see. So we gotta be careful. So this is the front. This is the back. Yeah, that's Stevie Nicks on the cover. And is that Lindsey Buckingham? Or is that Mick Fleetwood? And this is the back. That's all the cast members. That's John McVie. That's Christine McVie. That was his wife. That's Mick Fleetwood. That's Lindsey Buckingham. And that's Stevie Nicks. These two were dating and these two were married. And again, there's a story for this album, which I'll get to it later. So you have all the names of the song. There are 11 tracks. So we got a small, very thin booklet. It has pictures of the band members, and the booklet has the lyrics. So that's a pretty good book. Like, not pretty good, but like decent. But I'm grateful to have like that they included this. As for the record goes, this is a simple black vinyl. Nothing fancy. So we listen. I hate this. I always hate putting Steve back. This is the worst part about every vinyl. There we go. So as a whole, the vinyl, a decent to strong 7. Nothing fancy. Maybe, if it was a colored vinyl. I did find one blue version from Target, but that was after I got this one. And I was thinking of buying that, but it doesn't make sense. It's just a simple blue one. So unless someone wants to buy this from me, so I can have that one, and if someone can bring that for me, maybe then I'll get it. But moving on, the recording sessions took place as the band members dealt with breakups and struggled with drug uses, both of which shapes the album's direction and lyrics. Recorded with intention of making a album that would expand beyond the commercial success of their previous album. This album contains a mix of electric and acoustic instrumentation, accented rhythms, guitars, and keyboards. Its lyrics concerns personal and often troubled relationships, usually between the band members themselves. Here's a fun story about the making of Rumours and the history behind Rumours. Fleetwood Mac had tons of drama, just like an ordinary group of SWAT students. By 1973, the group had been around for 6 years and things were already insane. One guy quits to join a cult, another one quits because he had a bad acid trip, and Mick Fleetwood, the drummer, had to fire their guitarist because he had an affair with Mick Fleetwood's wife. So Mick thinks since they already have a fighting couple on board with John and Christine McVie, who were at the time a married couple, so he thought, how about he adds another one? So he asked his friend Lindsey Buckingham to join the band as a guitarist and a singer, but Lindsey Buckingham agreed to join the band on one condition, that he brings his girlfriend at the time, Stevie Nicks, as a singer. Fast forward to 1976, when the recording sessions for Rumours were about to start. Both couples were on the rocks. John and Christine McVie had ended their 8 years of marriage, but at least they're still kind of civil about it. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham broke up during the start of the recording sessions, but they hate each other. They used to get into hour-long screaming matches in the middle of recording sessions, and on top of that, they are writing songs about each other and making the other one sing backup on them. For example, Stevie Nicks wrote Dreams about Lindsey Buckingham, and Lindsey Buckingham wrote Go Your Own Way about Stevie Nicks. It gets even crazy. Mick Fleetwood remarries his wife, the one who cheated on him with the band's guitarist, and he cheats on her like Mick Fleetwood cheats on his wife with Stevie Nicks, who was again the ex-girlfriend of the band's member Lindsey Buckingham. And to make things even more crazy, the drummer Mick Fleetwood cheats on Stevie Nicks with Stevie Nicks' best friend. So yeah, there's a lot of infidelity. Despite these troubled relationships and history, or perhaps the cause of them, Rumours went on to become Fleetwood Mac's biggest commercial success to date and is one of the best-selling albums of all time, selling over about 40 million copies worldwide. It also became a big critical success, with many critics naming this album as the best they've ever done, and it won the Grammy Award in 1978 as the album of the year. Often considered Fleetwood Mac's magnum opus and one of the greatest albums of all time, Rumours was inducted to the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2003. The album was selected for preservation in the National Recording Registry in 2017 by the Library of Congress, which deemed it culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Songs like Dreams, Go Your Own Way, and The Chain, these are powerful songs. They make you feel certain type of emotions. Go Your Own Way and The Chain will rile you up. Both of them have such amazing guitar performances by John McVie and Lindsey Buckingham. And as mentioned earlier, Go Your Own Way was written by Lindsey Buckingham for Stevie Nicks, and Dreams was written by Stevie Nicks for Lindsey Buckingham. And when you hear these songs, especially their live versions, you could actually feel the tension between these two. And when they perform live, it gives me goosebumps. Just look at this video of them performing The Chain live in 1982. Absolutely mental. But the biggest surprise for me is not that this album has such amazing songs and all that, yada yada yada, but for me the biggest surprise is how talented Christine McVie is, not just as a keyboardist or a vocalist, but as a songwriter. Her songs include Don't Stop, Songbird, You Make Loving Fun, and Oh Daddy, with Songbird being my favorite from these songs and the third favorite song from this album. It's just such a powerfully, heartbreaking, beautifully written song with such amazing vocals by Christine McVie. As for the legendary Stevie Nicks, her vocals are impeccable as usual, but for me, they were on a whole new level in towards the end of Gold Dust for me. They were simply beautiful at that part of the song. And lastly, there's a song called Silver Springs, which is not included in this version of the album, but came out in the super deluxe version of the album, which was again written by Stevie Nicks about a breakup with Lindsey Buckingham, which is yet another beautifully written heartbreaking song. This album has 11 songs, 12 if you include the Silver Spring, and all of these songs have such amazing instrumentation, vocals, and songwriting skills, with the exception being Never Going Back Again, which has the least lyrics and the most instrumentation, and even the lyrics that are in the song are very simple lyrics. I mean, this is one of the best albums of all times for a reason, and once you hear this album in its entirety, you'll know why. So do I recommend this masterpiece? Yes, I do recommend this masterpiece, especially if you're a fan of rock. This is the epitome of rock music, I would say. I mean, not heavy rock, it's more of a pop rock sort of album. But yet again, The Chain is a beautiful song, amazing instrumentation. Go Your Own Way, beautiful. If you had a breakup recently, you'll know why it's a beautiful song. Dreams is beautiful. Dreams is like one of those dreamy songs, I guess. So yeah, check this album out, and it's only 40 minutes long. That's really good. So yeah, this was my review of Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next month for the next episode. So take care. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. On a wall. Arrivederci. Wait, arrivederci? Audible. Audible. How do you say that? What? Audible? All. Allah Hafiz. So